One of the objectives of this series is to relate incidents where I screwed up or something went wrong with my attempts to climb. These are intended to be cautions to those who are beginning climbers and education to those who are just curious about climbing, so they can be aware of just how many things can go wrong with climbing and how it's really a very dangerous activity. For reference, I've just surveyed in the height of a branch in that basswood, and above ground it's 54 feet up. So this is the base of that basswood tree. It's a little bit over 4 feet in diameter. The tree total is pushing 90 feet tall. Makes it one of the older basswoods for this area, and it's really sort of reached the end of its life. It had several branches that had died, and I was climbing it SRT to remove some of the dead and dying branches. And now we'll pan up so we can get to where I was standing. It was that branch right up there, the one that curls out to the left. In most of these vignettes, I'm going to try and do a little bit of a reconstruction. This one, however, was a bit too unnerving for me to want to even come close to reenacting what happened. So I'm just going to tell you about it. I climbed this SRT. I decided rather than try to haul everything up afterwards, I'd take my saw with me, and since I was high enough that I'd pretty much used up the extent of the climbing rope I had, I would take a spare rope with me. So between my weight and the weight of all the equipment I was carrying, I was hauling up about 250 pounds, and by the time I got up there I was ready for a breather. So I climbed up a little bit past my tie-in point using my lanyard, and decided to take a breather standing on that branch with my feet 54 feet above the ground. I was just starting to catch my breath when I noticed, well, something seems lighter and doesn't seem right. So I'm standing there leaning against the tree with my lanyard around it, and I look down. My belt has slid down past my knees. So I'm standing on this branch 54 feet above the ground. For reference, I read in one of my wife's medical journals that half of the people, 50%, who fall from a height of 20 feet die. And here I was standing at 54 feet. So with the stone wall down below me, my odds of surviving a fall were pretty slim. So I tried to activate my Go-Go Gadget claw because I was really uncomfortable standing there. I couldn't, on that branch, reach down and grab my belt. There's no way I trusted my balance standing on that relatively small branch. So I had to try and grab hold and hike it up, but it had all that weight on it, and when I tried to let go of that side to grab the other side, it would slide down. And it just was really difficult to get the belt back up, and this whole time I'm going, please hang on, please balance. So I figured out I could use my lanyard to sort of tighten it in and hold it. It took me about 15 minutes to get my belt back up to where I wanted it and get everything tight, and I really snugged up my belt after I had it back up where I needed it. But as I said, it was very disquieting to realize I was standing there and had nothing really holding the entire upper part of my body safely to the tree. It was all down around my ankles. After I resumed breathing, I made it over to the other stem and cut down the main two of the dead limbs I had originally targeted. Minutes after getting down, I had ordered a set of arborist suspenders from an arborist supply house. The description tactfully suggested they were well suited for climbers who have no waists. So now, if I even suspect I'm going to be standing up in a tree, I wear the harness to make sure that my belt doesn't slide down around my ankles again.